to you and welcome to Adelante Chicago. Hello to you. I'm Lourdes Duarte. Thank you so much for joining us today. We begin with a program that could make a difference in the lives of hundreds of Latinos in the Chicago area. It's an expungement program that will open the door of opportunities for men and women with a criminal record. Here to explain how it works are Enza Raineri. She is with Cook County Clerk's Office, Dorothy Brown. Also, we've got Daniel Maldonado, who is with you, lead the organization that is partnered with the Clerk's Office. So thank you so much for coming in.
You're very welcome.
All right, so let's talk about why you decided to tackle this issue of expungement, why you decided to work together. Why is it important?
Well, the reason why it's important, Lourdes, and one of the biggest priorities that Clerk Brown has had is to work with people to give them a second chance. And it's not only adults that deserve a second chance, because we do an expungement summit at that level, but for juveniles, it is so important to get their arrest records expunged and or their court cases when the time is applicable, because if they don't, it can follow them into adulthood. It's very important for people to understand that there's this misconception that juvenile court is confidential. What is confidential are the court proceedings. The work that goes on does get reported up to the appropriate agencies that will hold on to that record until it can be expunged. And the really good news about it is the majority of juvenile court cases are expungible, with exception to first-degree murder or sex offense cases that could be considered felonies if you were adult. Fortunately, those are very far and few between. So the majority of cases and all arrests that don't ever go to a court proceeding are expungible. So we encourage everybody to go out to this event that is coming up
August
to
6th.
do that.
Okay.
August 6th.
And if you could talk about how it's impacting the Latino community, that you, to a point where you decided we got to get involved and we have to do something about this.
Yeah, well, I think number one was that I don't think that our community, the Latino community, know enough about the expungement process, or that it's even available to them. And the clerk has been several years, I think 12 years now, if correct me if I'm wrong, that she's been doing these expungement summits, and I thought to myself that I'd like to see that done in our community. Because for the simple fact, you know, we might have folks that don't have the means of transportation to get to a certain location, whether it's further south, you know, and so having it in their backyard per se, it's easily accessible, and I think that you know, it's important that if they do have records, that, you know, in order to continue moving forward in life and to succeed, you know, it's good to get that expunged. So I thought it was a good thing that I reached out to the clerk. She was gracious enough to agree to the partnership.
So yeah, you're helping with part of the hurdle, but I've always heard that it's pretty difficult to try to get your record expunged, that it's a process. It can cost you some money to do that. Any truth to that?
Well, I can tell you about the process, and there is a fee involved. It's $64 to the clerk, which includes a $60 fee plus $4 for certification, and there also is a $60 fee that must be paid to the Illinois State Police so that they will expunge their records. You know, yes, there is a fee involved. You can also petition the court for a waiver. It is up to the court to grant that. There is a 45-day waiting period, which is actually shorter than what it used to be. It used to be 60 days some years ago. And the reason why there's a 45-day waiting period is that it allows the agencies to file an objection if they object to the expungement. That's just a normal course of procedure with the process. Fortunately, the majority of the time, I would say 99.9% of the time, nobody objects, because I said earlier, most of these cases are expungible with the exception of first-degree murder and or a sex offense. So it's worth the waiting period. That's why we encourage young adults that the minute they turn 18 and or all of their court proceedings have been terminated, or their time having served in juvenile Department of Corrections facility has been terminated, once they finish that, they should really look into getting their cases expunged. It's well worth it.
So in most of the cases, as you said, 99% of them, they get cleared.
Absolutely. They're eligible for expungement. It's a matter of people coming to the courthouse to starting the process. There is also a help desk that is there where volunteer attorneys are there several days a week. If anybody interested calls our office, we'll be more than happy to give them the information on that as well.
Yeah, and Daniel, what are the cases that you're seeing? Because I think in some cases people maybe get pulled over or get taken into custody, but maybe are never charged, and even something like that would come up on somebody's record, right?
Yeah, it's I got an email just the other day about this, and it was a young lady, I'm assuming a teen, asked me, more information on the event because she's trying to go to school for criminal justice, and apparently that's a hurdle for her because she has a background. Another thing is for those that are trying to seek citizenship, that's also a hurdle too.
And it even impacts that,
yes.
so it wouldn't come up on a check that they've been in trouble before, even for citizenship?
Correct. If they're trying
it
to...
completely clears it.
Yes, yes. Sealing doesn't completely clear it, but expunging it does.
Wow.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about this event. It's coming up August 6th. Is there anything that they need to prepare ahead of time to take to the event, or what should they bring with them?
Well, they should, if they can, get a copy of their rap sheet, police rap sheet. They need to go to the arresting agency. If they're, this is more than likely residents from the city of Chicago, they should go to the police department to get a copy of the rap sheet. If anybody's coming from the suburbs, they can do the same as well. It's just really important to make sure that you know what exactly you had. If you have a court case, that can be looked up. If it was just an arrest, all you need is a copy of that arrest record. So if you can get a hold of that ahead of the event, August 6th, that would be preferable.
And it's interesting because you said you've had people who are now in their 40s or 50s
Right.
who call you and say, what's going on here?
Right, because employers are doing background checks, and it could be anything as simple as a station adjustment, which is basically where a minor is brought into the police station, the officer determines there's no charges needed for whatever reason, but you still have a record. They still have arrested you, so nothing proceeds to juvenile court, but you still have something out there, and it's unfortunate, but it follows you. It shouldn't. So if you have the opportunity to clear it up, we just encourage people to do so at the August 6th event.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much to the both of you for coming in. Again, more information, you can go to cookcountyclerkofcourt.org and get info there. There it is on your screen. Also, you can call 312-433-4881. And as always, you can reach out to a great organization, which is you, Lead, doing a lot of things with the Latino community here in Chicago.